Imagine waking up one day to find out that the assets you've been ignoring your whole life could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Then, these aren't your typical stocks and bonds. These are the secret investments that are quietly making people super rich. Are you sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just discover that you've been overlooking these key assets to your financial freedom. But first, this is Money Habits. I'm your host, Dr. Stephanie Aldrich, and I'd like to talk about habits and money that can help improve your life. If you're new here and just clicked on the video, please hit the subscribe button down below and stay till the end so you can see how many of these money habits you can start implementing in your own life, as well as which assets you need to own. Okay? I wanted to let you know that my 10th book was just finished. It's called Powerful Money Habits. Unleash financial freedom. If you want to know how to make more money, how to save it, and how to multiply your wealth, you can get a free copy of it at powerfulmoneyhabits.com. Link is down in the description. Also, there's a free masterclass training there where I teach the 3 money moves that you need to make in order to build financial freedom. Again, all of it's for free. Go to powerfulmoneyhabits.com and click on the links. All right, let's get back to the show. So the 15 assets that are making people super rich, the first one is crypto. So once considered a fringe investment, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum have made early adopters millionaires. The volatility makes it controversial, but the potential for massive returns keeps it compelling. Now, I know recently Bitcoin and I think Ethereum just had an ETF created for them. So that's going to bring even more investors into that area, which means that the value of those assets should increase. So something to think about. But it's just like gold and silver. It's always better to actually possess the physical products. So having actual Bitcoin or Ethereum on a jump wallet is your best bet over getting involved in the ETFs, because you don't really own that currency. It's just like gold and silver. Trading GLD or SLV compared to actually having like what I have. Let's see, I got a little piece of gold here and I got a little piece of silver right there. I mean, it's kind of weird in this thing, but I'm holding in my hands $2,500 worth of assets just in those 2 coins. So, you want to possess them in the physical realm. The next one is private equity and startups. Getting in early on the next big startup can lead to life-changing wealth, but it's not for the faint-hearted. Think of those who invested in Amazon or Google before they were giants. Now again, you should only have a real small amount in speculation of your account. This is including cryptocurrencies and private equity. Only want to put a small, maybe 5% of your total investments into these kinds of things. Okay? We're going to go over other things that you can build on and have an actual larger position in your investment portfolio of other things. But these first 2, you just want a tiny amount. Okay, that way if they go to 0, you're not out anything. If they go to the moon, hey, you cash out all of your profits and just keep watching it build up and live off of those assets. So the next one are dividend paying stocks. Dividend stocks provide regular income, and reinvesting those dividends can significantly increase wealth over time. It's a classic strategy that never goes out of style. Dividend paying stocks should be a large portion of your portfolio. So keep that in mind. You want dividend paying stocks. You have different ETFs that handle all of the top dividend paying stocks. You've got aristocrats, you have king dividends. What I do is invest in SCHD, which is a Schwab high dividend index fund. And that gives me 4% on my money right now. And that helps protect me if one of those companies goes bust, because it's an index fund, or I mean an ETF. It kind of tracks that and will rebalance things for me. So something to think about. But you should own things that pay you. That's what assets are. So you want to always think about monthly or quarterly payments. Okay. The next one is farmland. Farmland is an underrated but lucrative asset. As the global population grows, the demand for food increases, making farmland a solid long-term investment. Again, you have to be careful with farmland just because you never know when a drought's going to hit, or, different types of mold, parasites, insects. Is it going to be flood season? You don't know when weather or outside circumstances are going to harm that farmland or those crops. So make sure farmland is a little bit smaller of, more of a speculative area of your portfolio, kind of like crypto and private equity is. The next one is timberland. Now, timberland is a unique asset that appreciates over time as the trees grow and can be harvested for profit. It's a renewable resource, and as demand for wood products increases, so does the value of the land. Now, this could be as long as the timber is already being harvested. This can be a little bit bigger of a play for you in your portfolio, unlike the farmland, which, you just never know what's going to happen. So timberland, as long as it's being farmed now, currently, you can get in on a fund. I think it's called acretrader.com. I've looked into that before, and you can actually invest and get a pretty decent exposure to different timberland through their funds. It's just that they do other things too, so it's all about timing with your investments. The next one is parking lots. Parking lots is in high demand areas can be total cash cows. With urbanization and the rise of city living, owning a strategically located parking lot can generate substantial income. Again, parking lots should be a smaller part of your investment portfolio. However, parking lots or getting into a fund that invests in parking lots is an easy and very lucrative way to make profits and to get monthly and quarterly income into your portfolio. The next one is agriculture. Think of agricultural commodities such as coffee or cocoa. Investing in agricultural commodities like coffee or cocoa can be lucrative, especially in times of scarcity or high demand. These are consumables that the world can't live without. But again, this goes along with the farmland, and it should be a small part of your overall portfolio. The next one is cash. Cash is still king. You will always need to have some around, whether it's for emergencies or for potential opportunities to invest in something that's on sale or something that could increase in value. You need to make sure you have some cash readily available so that you can make a move if you want to. Wealthy people always have extra cash to jump on fire sales of assets. And that's what we're talking about today, is you want to own assets. Well, you need to have some cash, or what they call dry powder, available so that you can jump on those opportunities as the economy cycles, as prices go down of different types of assets that we're talking about here. It's a good time to have a little bit of cash, and especially now. If you watch one of my earlier videos, I talked about some of the things that the ultra wealthy were doing in 2023, 2024. And what they're doing is they're putting cash on the sidelines because they know interest rates are going to go down. And with the election, just a short term away, they don't know what's going to happen in the election and the economy. So depending on what happens, they're putting cash aside, trying to get ahead of the game so that if opportunity goes and presents itself, they're going to pounce on it and gain even more wealth. The next one is storage units. In America, we live in a consumeristic society. And what that means is we basically buy crap that we don't need and sometimes buy so much crap that we can't keep it in our own house. And we must store it in an off-site storage facility. People also can be moving for their jobs, either locally or across the country, and they need storage facilities to help them in their move. There are at least 5 storage facilities just around my house, like within a couple of miles. Look around the next time you're driving around your community. How many storage facilities are near you? So that's something else to think about, just like parking lots. That's something to think about of an asset that's going to pay you every month, right? There's a lot of investment companies that pull money together. They're syndicators, and you can get in on the storage unit phenom. The next one is energy. Think of oil, wind, or even solar. As the world shifts towards green energy, investments in solar, wind, and other renewable resources can become incredibly profitable. It's both a financial and ethical investment. What I have also done is I invest in oil syndication. So the company owns the land, they drill for the oil, and then once it's online for so many years, and it produces X amount of oil, they then sell it to one of the big companies. So they profit from it, and every month I get a check. So that's what I'm doing as far as energy is concerned. One thing you have to think about as you're buying these assets is the tax implication of these assets. So crypto, I'm not sure how it's taxed, but it's probably a dividend type of thing. Private equity, it's usually a dividend kind of thing, or interest, which is regular. You get taxed on your regular amount of money that you earn. Dividend stocks are taxed less. Farmland, you probably won't owe any tax because of the incentives that the government gives you, so you'll probably write off any income from that. Timberland's going to be the same thing. Parking lots, it's probably going to be, if it's syndicated, it could be tax exempt too. Agriculture definitely is. Storage units probably would be considered a rent kind of thing, so you may not pay any tax on that. And I know energy, the oil that I invest in, I haven't paid any tax on that because of the incentives. You can the companies can write off their equipment expenses as well as the amount of money that they have to put out to drill. So it's a very lucrative business, and you get K1s from a lot of these different asset classes that we're talking about today, and you don't owe zero money for taxes. So something to think about as you're trying to allot different assets into your portfolio. The next one is precious metals. As I showed you before, think of gold and silver. Traditionally seen as a hedge against economic instability, precious metals remain a cornerstone of many wealthy portfolios. The controversy lies in their fluctuating value and storage of the physical metals. So you definitely want to be holding some cash, right, so that you can pounce on any opportunity for investment that you can. However, you don't want to store cash as a long-term thing. If you do, you want to either put it into a high yield savings account, or you want to put it into something that increases in value over time. And that's all of these assets that we're talking about now. Or you could do something a little more liquid, which are either bonds, which we're going to get to in a little bit, or precious metals. There's always a dealer somewhere. There's always somebody online that are interested in precious metals, and you can easily get out of it if you need to cash some of it in. So what I'm starting to do myself is I'm starting to put away some of the cash that I'm saving and putting it into precious metals. As they increase in value, I know that it helps to keep inflation in check with my cash storage. The next one is art and collectibles. The ultra wealthy have always invested in rare art and antiques. These items can appreciate over time, often selling for millions of dollars more than their original purchase price. I know there's a site called Masterworks out there that allows anyone to invest in collectible art. What they do, they're basically a syndicator, and they pool money from their investors, and then they go out and they buy Rembrandts and the Picassos and all of that. They even do local and modern artists, and once they sell, you get to reap some of the benefits from that sale. So again, you should have maybe a little bit of art or a collection of something, but it needs to be a small part of your portfolio. This is not something that you're going to get rich, or you really need to be educated if this is your thing. Sports memorabilia, cars, that kind of thing. The next one is kind of the same thing, and that's watches and handbags. So brands like Rolex and Patek, Philippe, they're not just status symbols, they're actually investments that can appreciate significantly over time, especially limited editions. Different luxury handbags, like those from Hermes or Chanel, can appreciate significantly in value over time. Some collectors view them as both functional accessories and lucrative investments, but make sure it's a small part, and make sure that you know what you're doing and what you're buying. The next one are bonds, especially municipal bonds or T-bonds, T-bills, which are treasury bills. Bonds and bills may not be flashy, but they're a steady and reliable income source. Municipal bonds in particular are attractive because of their tax advantages and low risk. As interest rates go down, bond rates go up. They're opposite of each other. The next one, which is also kind of a controversial one, but hey, this is what the rich people are doing. They're investing in data centers, mostly targeted towards AI. So as the demand for cloud computing and data storage grows, as well as AI, owning or investing in data centers can be highly profitable. The digital economy relies on these facilities, making them increasingly valuable. There are ETFs out there and index funds that deal with tech, deal with data centers. So that's something that you should probably look into, or educate yourself and make sure that you know what you're talking about if you're going to invest in one single company. And definitely don't go in on it all at once. You want it to be a small part of your wealth. So that's it for the show today. Thanks for watching. Which areas are you going to start investing in that you might not have considered before? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, this is Money Habits.